You're a little early, Shaw. That's fine. Max isn't all here. He's not human, gamers. Do I want to Shaw and then Thor after I Wong? Actually, sure on what my ideal sequencing looks like here. Could also be right to stick Thor in the middle here. Cube Donor, thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. We're hoping to draw one of our 3 1 or 2 drops here. Forge would be insane. We'd get to go Forge into Shaw. Nico with the Forgeability? Do I want to make my next card a demon? Honestly, that's probably fine, right? Because it turns Ironheart into a demon. Which is still a +1 for her. Although, playing this out makes Ironheart less likely to tag Shaw. She won't get the Surfer buff. Yeah, but she's only gonna be 5 as is, right? So if I turn her into a demon, she's 6, even with the double Surfer buff. I'm not playing because it's more stats to love. Mother of God. Wow, that's huge upside. I forgot we could draw the hammer too. Obviously, drawing hammer is a huge reason to play her out as well. Absolutely everything came together for us this game, huh? Quality linear draw for us. Yeah, the hammer animation being faster is lovely. Alright, I mean, I know they're a computer, but Shaw did stuff for us there, right?
Victory.
We put out 33, 17, 16. And that was a draw that didn't involve Werewolf, right? All right, we'll write that one down. The rare bot games that do end up in my highlights tend to look like that one, where it's just like our deck's a linear deck and it like gets to do its thing. Cerebro 2 dead with the Luke Cage nerf. Counter question, is Cerebro 2 better because of the Shadow King nerf? That's the fun part of Cerebro next to the start of the season, chat. Trying to figure out if it's better or worse. It's an Alioth gamer.
Face the might of Asgard. Mjolnir.
So, Absorbing Man is kind of sweet in this deck for a few reasons. And this is potentially one of them. Do I want to go Absorbing Man to make hammers here? And then Jane, we pull both the hammers out next turn? I think so, right? Them losing Titan's actually really good for us here. I think I'm gonna snap them.
Mjolnir.
Do I do this now and punt the center? The problem with punting the center is... I lose the game if they play Miss Marvel in the mid. I lose to Miss Marvel plus Alioth if I take that line. So I think I have to do this, so I'm bigger than Miss Marvel center. And I'm playing the Mjolnir out this turn because they're gonna know that we have it either way, and I want to have extra points towards priority here. That way we can hopefully duck their Alioth on the last turn. As someone who's been playing Cerebro 2 for the last 30 days, having Shadow King has been a blessing. Luke is whatever high Evo decks bring some pain, but locations are a non-issue with Eco Storm. Yeah, I think that's a good take. Is Werewolf better than Shaw? Werewolf will get 2 triggers plus a Surfer, so he's 9, whereas Shaw's only 8. And then this beats Dr. Doom, right? I'm going plus 8 over here, and I'm going 9, 11 over here. This is the other problem about Shaw and a lot of the decks I've played him in so far. Shaw constantly feels like the second or third best thing to be doing in those decks. And like, he's okay. Like, there's some games where like you don't have your first and second best things, so like you play him out and he's like fine or maybe even good. But like, when the rest of my deck is humming along, I basically never feel like Shaw is something I want to be doing. All right, gamers, it looks like it's about time for our next ad break. We haven't looked at Untapped stats post-patch yet, so if you want to sneak peek at some data and my thoughts on that data, hang out, and in 120 seconds you'll get that. If you want to not suffer through ads on the channel, consider subscribing for free with Prime or checking out our mobile game sponsor, Ant Legion, to get your queen to level 5 there. I'll hook you up with a free gift sub to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you in 120 seconds. YouTube viewers, you are slacking big time. 114 likes, 312 viewers. When your significant other told me you needed 2 hands and a flashlight to find the button, I defended you. Don't prove me wrong. The like button's right there under the video. Press it. Press it. Werewolf boosters. Yeah, I should make the question what's your best deck with Shaw. I should make a Shaw verdict command. Let's grab the link here. Okay. Oh yeah, 10 seconds on the ad roll and we'll talk about this. So this is a new page. So this is a new page that Snap added, or that Untapped added recently, that shows per card stats with some good win rates, popularity, average cubes here. So Forge, most popular card by a lot because it just goes in every Seabstian Shaw deck and some non-Shaw decks, and Shaw is popular at the start of the season as the new card. Not a good time to be playing a deck that loses to Killmonger. Jeff, the baby land shark, continues to be. I will point out that, as is always the case, the average cubes and win rates on these cards should mostly be ignored because I'm looking at pre-infinite data because there really isn't post-infinite data yet. That being said, our big giant purple fart is still both incredibly popular and leaning towards good. While all these win rates are skewed high, Alioth does still have one of the higher win rates. I was watching Dara's stream last night, and he was playing Surfer Seabstian decks like most people, and he was just winning most of his games by Aliothing people on 6, and then talking about how it was good still, which he wasn't wrong. Turns out get priority, delete their turn 6, still pretty good. These are in-deck stats. Untapped does not track when played. This is just when included in the deck. Top performing deck is Leech deck. Hey, look at that! My favorite build of... My favorite build of Darkhawk is the most popular, and not only is it the most popular, but its win rate and average cubes are beating out the category hole. I posted, this deck highlight actually bombed on my channel on Monday, which is sad. YouTube viewers don't really seem to like She-Hulk decks, which is sad. Like, my two favorite types of decks consistently perform like shit on YouTube. Bounce decks and She-Hulk decks are some of my favorite things to play in Snap, and they just consistently have terrible metrics. Mr. Negative! But Mobius, I was told Mobius killed this deck. Look at this! Look at this Loki deck! All the way down here in C tier. Can you believe they didn't nerf Loki in this patch, chat? I, for one, am shocked. Fucking gamers. The amount of complaining from gamers about them not touching Loki is just, like, absurd. Yeah, I think that's true, Josh. Part of the reason why the She-Hulk double up and the bounce decks are some of my favorite is they have a lot of complex and interesting sequencing decisions, which is hard for the average YouTube viewer to replicate. Yeah, Loki's fine. Like, I'm not gonna tell you Loki's bad, but I am gonna tell you Loki is one of many good decks, and it is not objectively or clearly the top deck in the format. Stock lockdown deck for the previous season. Still really good post-Alioth change. Let's take a look at a per deck basis. Give me 1,000 plus games. Average cubes, 1,000 plus games. Look at that, chat. I might know what I'm talking about when I call out decks as being powerful. I'll be the first to tell you that a lot of the decks that I play on this stream and decks that I brew up are mediocre or bad, or they're pet decks and I play them for fun because I enjoy them. This deck is legitimately very good. Obviously, the exact cube rate and win rate here are inflated, just like all of these win rates are inflated, but you could also assume most of these win rates are inflated proportionally, similarly, so yeah, this one is real good. What else we got in here? Other Darkhawk variations. Are there just no Loki decks that have this sample size? Are there any Loki decks with 1,000 plus games? Wow, there actually aren't. That's interesting. I guess there's probably a lot of variation. What's the highest sample size Loki build? Highest sample size Loki build is 580, and it's much lower stats than those other decks we were looking at. Do you agree that people get mad at Loki because unlike Goliath, you can retreat? Unlike Goliath, you just retreat. Loki's a deck that makes you stay in games thinking you can beat it. Loki is a deck that punishes people who are bad at Snap harder than most other decks punish people who are bad at Snap. Loki is a deck that punishes you for making bad deck building decisions, like shoving random tech cards into your deck that don't belong in it. And Loki punishes people who are bad at figuring out complex output ranges from their opponents. Similar to bounce decks and Moon Girl double up decks, the power output range from Loki on the last turn is high and it's varied per location. So it's difficult for people who are bad at counting to understand when they're beat. Whereas like Goliath, it's very simple and straightforward to understand when you beat. You look at the board, it's easy to be like, oh, I should fuck off here because I'm dead to the Goliath. Where you send me a screenshot of the ant thing, wherever's convenient for you. Twitch, Twitter, Discord, email. I have a P.O. box if you want to print it out and mail it to me. Just whatever works for you. We dropped the sample to 500. We have the Seabstian. This was the first Seabstian Shaw deck we played yesterday, actually, right? People just like playing. Farm it into bots. Let me get the PO box. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a big range. Lockdown is still very popular. Surfer at a casual 25%. There's a oh, this is interesting. So there's a Seabstian Shaw category, and there's also a Surfer category. Oh, are these non-Surfer Seabstian decks? They must be, yeah. No, some of them have Surfer. I have no idea how these are grouped then. Weird. All right, let's play some more games, huh? Acquired Tardak sounds lovely. Shaw's already in our hand, though. What's going on, Deadbolt? Thanks for repping that Prime for the 2nd month. Looks like you make my job possible, so thanks for keeping me around. It's a fairly lateral change. I think I'm eating Zabu, chat. Cat is what's for dinner. Okay, so there's Cerebro 3. Cerebro 3 means my 1-drops are very unlikely to survive through the end of the game. The Jeff typically means Cerebro 3 and not Leech. Okay, they're just cooking then. Actually, the Spider-Man means I have absolutely no idea what their output range is here. We just want to make as many big numbers as possible. Swing and a miss on our 50%er to try and hit Sean here. Or Shaw. I should say. I think it's just this. I think I'm limping for one if they let me. Things are happening. Yeah, sweet. They didn't play for the right, so putting a roll for the middle is good. It says local man about to die to a tech card. Oh, that's so frustrating. Oh, sorry, did I say a tech card? I meant 2 tech cards. Fuck you, Chud. Congrats. Congrats! And that feels like the real problem with these decks again consistently, is it feels like the payoff that you're getting is just not worth how weak your deck is into all of these tech cards. Like what we're doing has an okay power output while also simultaneously not being strong enough into what they have going on. Are tech cards too powerful? I think tech cards have been too powerful in Snap consistently basically forever. I also think under the guidance of Glenn Jones, they have consistently been slowly making tech cards worse, which is good for the game. I think one of the things in the patch notes that I thought was a really good observation from Glenn / the team that put it together, who's ever driving the ship over there, is that the experience of cheap cards. No, see, I completely disagree with this, that the Luke Cage is a tech card, chat. Like, the people saying the Luke Cage nerf was bad, I completely disagree with you. Luke Cage is a prime example of the types of tech cards that are too fucking good in Marvel Snap. And the observation in their patch notes talking about how cheap tech cards should not counter multiple expensive payoffs across the entire board is exactly fucking correct. Sweet, big payoffs should not have to get warped around the entire board being negligible for them, essentially.
Snap.
It's a lovely draw. I think a Killmonger is a card I've talked about being over strength for a long time. Doesn't the Luke Cage nerf make Shadow King better? You're right that Shadow King is better because of that change. It is an accurate statement to say that Shadow King is better because of the Luke Cage change. But I will point out there's also a reason why they put an OTA back on the schedule, right? And if Shadow King ends up being a card that's too powerful, they can make further adjustments. I do this, my dog ends up here, My forge jumps to the right, and then I play Surfer plus a hammer on the last turn, and we call it a day. Wolf jumps to the Jin. The wolf does not jump to the Jin. The Jin is turning into a demon.
Cut off one head, two more shall take its place.
Mjolnir! Mjolnir!
Opponent is cooking over there. Where's their second Thor going, huh? It's going to the left. That's good for us. I can still win the right. Is it Wong Surfer? It could honestly be Wong Hammer here too. I think it might actually be Wong Hammer just to make sure I win the right. I have a lot of points everywhere.
Mjolnir! To me!
Oh god. Oh
Mjolnir!
no!
To me!
Oh no, I think they have two hammers, chat. They immediately drew a hammer? Holy shit.
Mjolnir! To me! Mjolnir! To me!
Well, fuck me, I guess. So they were 2 out of 7 to win that game? Would Surfer win that game? Nope. Surfer would have given me a +4 on the left. Yeah, no, I had no permutations of this game that I won. So we were 5 out of 7 to win that game. And they had to have drawn their first hammer they put into the deck earlier. So they had to get lucky to draw that one, and then they also had to hit the 2 out of 7 on the last turn. Some days you're the pigeon, other days you're the statue gamers. That's just how it goes. Hey, Hogs! Thanks for the entire year of support. I appreciate that. That's true. We also had to lose the 50-50 for both the Thors to not both go, right? Big true. I don't know if this play is right, but it's funny, so I'm gonna make it.
Face the might of Asgard! Mjolnir!
Jeremy's probably a bot anyways, so.
Face the might of Asgard! Mjolnir! Face the might of Asgard! Mjolnir! Face the might of Asgard! Mjolnir!
Copy.
Opponent snapped.
Winning 2 lanes simultaneously on turn 4 and snapped me. How very human behavior of you, opponent.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, do I need the Zabu? I guess I don't, huh? Do I even need to play the Surfer? I guess I want to Absorbing Man it, right? Are they a human? I can't tell. They might be a human.
Wind, aid
I haven't seen this as a bot deck before. I can die to a tech card in the middle is the problem. Which has just been like the problem with every game we've played with this deck. It's just like I die to a tech card in the middle. The way it's been roping me, I think this is a person. Yeah, maybe we're supposed to skip playing the hammer, so that way the wolf stays left and I don't die to a Shang in the middle. I think this is a... I genuinely don't know. This is a bot deck, it's a new one. I think it's a bot. I don't know.
Victory.
If they added the ability to bots to rope you every single turn, that would be a terrible addition. Turing test successfully passed. Yep. I've hit that bot deck twice now with UA2. Okay, it could just be a new one for the season. It's weird to me that they add new bot decks periodically, but they don't get rid of the ones that no longer function based on cards being updated. Yeah, if we draw Wong, the Citadel goes absolutely insane for us. You tried any Phoenix decks? We played a little bit of Phoenix yesterday before the season rolled over, and I was kind of whelmed by it. Honestly, the Phoenix decks feel like they have a lot of the same problems that this archetype has, which is that your deck just kind of eats it to Shang-Chi and tech cards. I think I just want another big stat stick in Thor here.
Face the might of Asgard. Mjolnir. Mjolnir.
Am I beating their surfer? Probably not. This is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Plus whatever Ironheart hits with, they're going to at least 20. The problem is they could also have double surfer here. They might not have any surfer. They have double Sarah as well. Yeah, I think the double Sarah is less relevant to them having double surfer, right? Because I'm only playing hard for these two paths, so the fact that they can play multiple cards doesn't really matter because I'm not contesting the Shadowlands. So the Sarah is not really relevant outside of the fact that she enables like surfer plus Wong or surfer plus absorbing man for them. In my experience playing the Surfer deck so far, Eric, Shaw's not really providing anything that Werewolf didn't already do for the deck. That guy in the corner, thanks for the 10 months, welcome back. I mean, I don't know that changing Chavez is really responsible for a super visual impact on the game, Samuel Gamer, outside of there being a new game piece in the new Chavez design that people are going to periodically be playing. And that's, at the core, part of the reason why they changed old Chavez. She wasn't really a game piece that, like, visually or meaningfully impacted the game in a way that you felt tangibly. She was simply a card that gave people small percentage point edges, which isn't really exciting. Snappier, hand's real good. Okoye into Shaw and Stark Tower, and then Wolf plus Nico. Yeah, Cossack, that's definitely an accurate assessment, I think. So far, Shaw has we have Werewolf at home vibes. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. I wouldn't say that Shaw has felt bad, but I would say that basically every deck I've played Shaw in so far, he feels like the second or third best thing to be doing in the deck in an absolute best case scenario. So unless your hand is kind of limp, you're not really focusing on him. And this game, he benefits from Stark Tower, so we'll play him middle. Isn't Shaw just a 3-6 with Surfer? No, he's a 3-8 with Surfer. Which is, like, decidedly alright. Yes! Feels like we're probably dead to a Nimrod.
systems go.
Wong is punishing for not playing Zabu last turn. We just can't ever beat them putting out big numbers here, right? Yeah, Shaw gets +3 in Murray Isle every turn. If we're staying, it's this. I don't know if that's enough, though. Guess it could be this, technically, too. I'll be a fish. They only played one card. That probably wins for us, right? Like Venom or Destroyer here in the game. Okay. Their draw was limper than ours.
Victory.
I have no data to support this, but I feel like the Chavez rework hurt Phoenix more than the bug fix help. But I don't think that's true. I think the Phoenix deck has just never been very good, and I don't know that the multiple man bug was necessarily the thing holding it back. Anecdotally, Professor X decks are still relatively common. Based on the untapped data, that's also true as well. I think that that type of matchup definitely hurts that archetype more than anything else. Surfer decks were already weak to tech cards, so it doesn't make it any worse. That's not true. Shaw is worse against Shang-Chi and Shadow King than other Surfer things were previously. So saying it's the same as the others is not true, decidedly. And I think the big, actually, this is something that I don't think I've heard anybody talk about, is the thing that Seabstian Shaw does to decks like this in terms of trying to make it enable is, historically speaking, Surfer decks have been good because they're decks that have like interactive 3 energy cards. And look at this deck that I'm playing and a lot of the other Surfer decks people have been working on. A majority of the Surfer decks that people are working Shaw into, you have to cut the previously good interactive bits from them in order to fit in the kind of Shaw package, right?
Oh, snap.
So you lose that previously disruptive element to try and make your deck better at making big stats, which then you're just, can you elaborate? Yeah, you don't have cards like Cosmo or Juggernaut or other cards that disrupt your opponent, and you're just a deck trying to make numbers, and the numbers that we're making both aren't very big and are susceptible to our opponent being disruptive. The opponent is likely a bot, yes. I'm gonna play Zabu so I can play Surfer Absorbing out of the last turn. Yeah, I think that's a good take. It kind of feels like this deck is doing something similar to what Shuri decks do while simultaneously being worse at accomplishing that specific goal. I think is an astute observation. Shaw more power than Absorbing Man. Yeah, it might have been. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't count.
I see.
Doesn't matter. Beep boop. The Absorbing Man was 9 points of power. 5, 2, 2. The Shaw would have been 11 points of power. So Shaw was better, yes.